So I have two guests here with me that their videos have been going viral the last week. Both of them are restaurant owners. One of them is based out of Sherman Oaks, California, Angela Marsden. The other one is David Morris, based out of Michigan. And they both made a video, very different type of a messaging. What's funny is neither one of them have met each other till today's video. They were talking offline before us going live. And I wanted to bring this to your attention because a lot of business owners in America are doing their part to create jobs and help others who are not wanting to rely on the economy to go to work, to do their part, to pay their bills, to do what they need to do. And they're trying to do their best to follow the guidelines. But unfortunately, politics gets in the way of these two entrepreneurs that we have here with us. David and Angela, thank you so much for being a guest on Valuetainment.
You're very welcome.
So neither one of you have seen each other's video, right? You haven't fully seen each other's video on what happened there, right? Is that a fair assessment there?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
And if you don't mind, Angela, maybe take a moment and tell us what's been happening with you and your restaurant in the last week or two.
Well, in the last week here in California, they've just been doing more and more lockdowns. So 2 days before Thanksgiving, we got notice that all outdoor dining, which we worked very hard to do and put up, spent about 60 to 80,000 doing all the changes over the last year that they wanted, was going to be shut down the night before Thanksgiving. And, you know, basically I had to let my staff know that they didn't have a job for the holidays because we can't sustain with to-go. To-go is about we make gross about 10%. We lose about 90% profit. And anybody who knows anything about a brick and mortar business and a restaurant, the margins are very thin and the costs are very high.
Yep.
I tried to stay open the first time around for to-go for my customers and also for the community, because the community really miss you. And in LA, we have a lot of people that are older and alone, or they're living alone because they've moved here and all their families out of state. So connection and community is very, very vital to them. So they did come out for to-go and it broke my heart, but I didn't have enough money to sustain this time. So I had to shut down completely.
Now, for people to understand running a business, how many employees do you have? Your employees, when you shut down, are they getting any kind of a comp money from the state? Is the state filling them out? Tell us the details behind it.
Well, I wish this restaurant was in Indiana or Michigan, because in LA, you know, we are at a gradual climb up to $15 an hour. The expenses are very high here. The rents are very high. We are already losing businesses to the minimum wage hike. Many of my other competitors and friends were closing because of the minimum wage hike. So when this went down, unemployment's all they had, you know, they could rely on. And then I was lucky enough to get the PPP loan, but the PPP loan only lasts for 2.5 months. Mind you, I got $100,000. I have 15 employees pre-pandemic. And basically that's roughly, you know, my payroll is roughly 25 to 30,000 a month. And so between rent and that, it lasted 2.5 months. And we weren't actually allowed to be fully open either. So I kind of did stretch that, you know, because I once we went to-go, I basically went down to four employees from 15.
From 15 to 4 employees. And
yeah.
These are, in a small business, everybody works like a family. And when you're 15 employees,
Absolutely.
Everybody knows each other, especially a restaurant, you're talking to each other. You don't call a boss. It's just friendship, relationship that there's there.
Yeah.
What did these 11 employees of yours / friends of yours that you're working with, how were they paying a price for you having to let them go?
Oh, I have just a little history of my pub. It's been here since 1978. It's one of the few holdovers of the Cheers bars. I'm the third owner. The kitchen staff has been there since 1978.
Wow.
And they are a brother, George, who works the day shift. Miguel works at night and runs the kitchen, does the grocery shopping and the cleaning. His wife does dishes and buses, and now his son has come in. So my entire kitchen, their entire household depends on me solely. They've never had another job since 1978. Now, my front house, I had staff that had been with me since day one. I've had it 10 years. So I had a bartender that had been with me 10 years that I lost through this, because he had to go and try to find other means of work. And, I had some that I was able to keep. But yeah, I mean, they have to find other work. And if they can't find other work, they got to rely on unemployment. I can't afford to pay them to stay at home. I don't have that kind of extra funds. So
here's a question for you. Did it create any kind of friction between you and them? Because a lot of times situations like this, what they do is they could say, well, Angela, you don't understand the situation I'm going through. It's my wife. I've been there since 78 and I have a son, and we're running this thing together. Can you help us out? And then you want to help them out. You can't help them out. Did it cause any friction between you and your employees?
It didn't. I will say in the beginning, Miguel, who runs my kitchen, the other caveat with Miguel and his wife who run my kitchen is they were here on a work visa for many years. And they had just applied for their citizenship in February and had gotten it, and they were waiting for the paperwork, but then the paperwork got postponed, and he was terrified to apply for unemployment, even though he's been paying in the system forever, because he's afraid until he got that actual certificate in his hand, he was afraid to take money from the government. So for me, his brother, George, was able to get unemployment. And I paid him out of what funds I had to keep him going. And then luckily the PPP, really, I stayed open as an essential business, and I employed him, and I did to go. And I was bleeding about $30,000 a month loss staying open for to go. But I had to keep them employed. I mean, what are they going to do?
That's right.
What are they going to do? You know what I mean?
Oh, no question. You see, sometimes when you look at the media, sometimes they portray business owners as being these rich, greedy people that all they care about is themselves, but they don't see the story behind closed doors where folks have stayed with the same place since 1978, and a family, 4 people have a job from the same family working for you. I think what I'd like to do is I'd like the audience to see which video was viral. And, David, maybe this will kind of give you an idea what story she was telling. And then I want to kind of share with everybody else, the audience that hasn't seen, what Mayor Garcetti had to say about your video. Here's the video.
So this is my place, the Pineapple Hill Grill and Saloon. If you go to my page, you can see all the work I did for outdoor dining, for tables being 7 feet apart. And I come in today because I'm organizing a protest, and I came in to get stuff for that. And I walk into my parking lot, and obviously Mayor Garcetti has approved this. Has approved this being set up for a movie company. I'm losing everything. Everything I own is being taken away from me. And they set up a movie company right next to my outdoor patio, which is right over here. And people wonder why I'm protesting and why I have had enough. They have not given us money, and they have shut us down. We cannot survive. My staff cannot survive. Look at this. Tell me that this is dangerous, but right next to me, as a slap in my face, that's safe. This is safe. 50 feet away. This is dangerous. Mayor Garcetti and Gavin Newsom is responsible for every single person that doesn't have unemployment, that does not have a job, and all the businesses that are going under. And we need your help. We need somebody to do something about this.
David, what's the reaction when you see that video right there with Angela?
That's bringing tears to my eyes. That bothers me tremendously. Okay, that is heart wrenching, and I'm sorry. That bothers me.
You know what's intense? I want to read this to everybody that's watching this. Mayor Garcetti responded, and he gave a statement. Before I read the statement, this is what's going on with California. California has declared the entertainment industry workers essential. That's what was going on 50 feet away from where you were at. And in LA County, they must follow strict guidelines such as eating in staggered shifts or in an area large enough to stay 6 feet apart. Restrictions: LA County is shutting down all dining at restaurants, breweries, wineries, and bars for at least 3 weeks, starting Wednesday, November 25th, which was 2 weeks ago, amid a surge in coronavirus cases. Health official announced Sunday, and Mayor Garcetti said, "My heart goes out to Miss Marsden and the workers at the Pineapple Hill Saloon who have to comply with the state and county public health restrictions that close outdoor dining. No one likes these restrictions, but I do support them as our hospital ICU bed filled to capacity and cases have increased by 500%. We must stop this virus before it kills thousands of more Angelinos." Angela, what do you have to say with what Mayor Garcetti had to say to you?
I'm outraged. Since then I've made some progress, and we just won with a judge in the LA courts, and the judge ruled in our favor and said that it was arbitrary. It was not backed by science. But what I like to say to him, and what I have already said, is do not sit and tell me that there are stay-at-home orders, because that is not real. There is 50% of us out here that cannot stay at home and work off Zoom and work off tech or have rich families. So when you say we're in this together and you say, you can stay at home, you're lying. That is not an option. You're making people choose between having a place to live and eat or not. Like, this is life and death situation. This is evictions. This is no food. Forget the fact that I have children. I have employees with children that have no money now for Christmas. They're wondering what they're going to get how they're going to get through even Christmas, let alone paying the rent. My manager was crying. Her unemployment is done. It's up. And we don't know. They have come up with nothing. They're on vacation right now. There's no emergency session for us to get our, PPP or unemployment. And it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is.
Angela, are you open now? Are you open right now or no?
No, I am. I will say that through this, we've been blessed. We've had a lot of donations, and I have been sticking with what I said in the beginning, which is I will not stop until they let us open. And I'm speaking on the behalf of all small businesses here now. But I'm hoping Friday that I'll be able to go over some numbers now. And with the help, I've gotten support from all over the world. I had the most amazing thing happen. Brooks Burgers in Florida, they own 3 hamburger places there, called me and said, I want to support you from over the pond, because we don't need the government to take care of us. We can take care of each other. And he offered to pay a month's worth of rent. And that's another restaurant here in a state that's open.
Powerful.
I was crying. Yep. Today he called and he said, I decided, my rent's like $10,000. So he said, I'm going to send you $5,000 right away. And this really obviously triggered me. And he said, I think we're going to take the rest and have the customers we'll do a celebration and a fundraiser and have them match it so we can get you more money. I could not stop crying, because when I had my bar, every Christmas I did Bad Santa Christmas, and it would be a fundraiser, and I would raise funds for the orphanages and for the other community. And then now I'm in this situation, and the kindness of this person, it was, I don't have words to explain the generosity, the humanity, the kindness and outpour, and I'm just
great to see, because other restaurant owners and business owners obviously know the challenges you guys are going through. There's a community, and the benefit the restaurant owner in Florida has over you is the DeSantis's regulations in Florida are very different than Newsom's regulations in the state of California. Has this event at all influenced you to consider moving to another state?
Honestly, right before this happened, I'm from Indiana. All my family's there. And my mom said, Angela, just throw in the towel, come back home, live with us, open a place here. And I couldn't. I sat and I thought about it. I said, Mom, and my mom worked in a bread factory. She's a very determined woman. So I called her. I said, Mom, I've been in LA 28 years. This is my town, and people are fleeing out of it, and nobody is doing anything about it. And I said, I can't just leave. I have to finally start telling the truth and showing people what's going on instead of keeping it in. I just can't. I have 5 bar owner friends who haven't been able to open for 9 months because they don't have food. They don't have food in their establishment. One of them has gone through their life savings and their unemployment's almost up. The other one took out a personal loan. Neither of them got PPPs. The other one has 2 bars. She'd just gotten her second one a year ago. They're done. I mean, we lost 110,000 restaurants, and that was before this closure. So I can't just leave. I can't. I got to do something. I have to move the giant because somebody's got to stand up for this community,
Well, more power to you. Just so you know, there's a lot of people in the state of California that would like more folks like yourself to be vocal, because sometimes people can't speak for themselves. And it's great to see your video going viral on Twitter, getting 9.2 million views. The challenge is, on GoFundMe, thank God there's a product like GoFundMe invented by a capitalist that allows times like this for people to take advantage of it. I believe you've been able to raise $183,000. We're going to put the link to GoFundMe below as well, which just tells you how much support you have. But I wonder for the other business owners that have lost their restaurants, who couldn't get a video to go viral, or somehow, some way didn't go their way, they have to shut down, and those 15 employees are lost. So David, when it comes down to yourself, how similar is your story? You're not in California, you're Michigan. How similar or different is your story from Angela's?
Well, we've got some differences, and at the heart, we've got some very good similarities. The difference is, she's got a liquor license, and in Michigan, those who would like to open back up and do some things, as soon as they do try to do that, they yank their liquor license. I'm not experiencing that. I don't have that threat hanging over me. She employs more people than I do. I bought this later in life when my kids were raised, and me and my wife were just paid it off and trying to do a little pension pad here for ourselves. And it's her and I, and my son helps out. And then I got 2 cooks and a waitress. We laid off 2 of them right away back in March. Back then, they had the stimulus package, and they were getting the extended benefits with the unemployment amounts. And that seemed to sustain everybody, probably more than it should have, I got to say. That, but people come out and they supported us. We're more of a small, tight knit, hey, we only see 40 people. So we're on different spectrums here a little bit. But with the traffic flow we have in the neighborhood we have, it's worked for us for 12 years. And to watch it slowly erode over the course of the summer, and, even at half capacity, the customers were supporting us with takeouts. Well, when the unemployment ran out, the stimulus monies ran out, we get into fall time, and we were doing okay. And then we got into the return of the school students, maybe Halloween, a lot of surface contact things there that I seen kind of would started exploding these numbers. And they come right back on the same small segment of the economy and said, hey, basically you're to blame. We got to shut you down again. And, out here we're different because we don't have the sunlight and the heat and the warmth. She's got a perfect scenario out there to dine outside with the sanitization measures. We don't even have that opportunity, and to have them shut her down, I don't understand.
I want to show your video. I want to show your video for the audience to see, and as well as Angela, she hasn't seen it yet, because your videos is, it was impromptu. You weren't even ready for it. It just kind of happened. I want to share this with the audience because it's a very interesting setting on what happened with yours. Somebody's telling the news, and then all of a sudden you walk up on them, and then this is what takes place.
News Channel 3's Notorious Haywood joins us live in Portage with the details on why the judge said no.
Here on this Café.
Notorious, is everything okay?
Okay. My government leaders have abandoned me.
Are you the owner?
$4 trillion of stimulus money. They gave it to who? Special interest groups and campaign donors. I'm Dave Morris. I own the place.
So what's going on?
What's going on? You know what's going on.
Tell me. You tell me.
Hey, we got a government that has taken the stimulus money, they gave it to special campaign donors, they gave it to special interests, they abandoned me, and they have put me in a position where I have to fight back. So you could have given me money, I'd gladly walk away for 60 days and let this virus settle down. I'm not going to do it alone. Okay?
Are you going to continue to violate the state's orders and stay open?
This is a state order. This isn't an order. This is a conspiracy. This is a tyranny.
What do you want to tell other restaurant owners who...
Wake up. Stand up. This is America. Be free. It's time to rise up.
Got you.
Got to rise up. Shut it all down or don't shut any of us down. That's the only way to get control of a virus.
Angela, what do you think when you see his reaction here in the interview?
I say amen. Amen.
That was a little different style of passions we had there, but
Amen.
Yeah.
I mean, here people were afraid. We're afraid, that we're going to get boycotted. We're afraid that people are going to think we want to kill them because, we don't believe in COVID or we don't, I commend you, and I wish and I hope that whatever we're doing creates a revolt with the businesses, because this is outrageous. I mean, the judge in the court, get this, found that not only were they in violation, right, and they were overstepping their power by shutting us down, but that 3.1% of all cases of going out were from outdoor dining, and the majority of those were coming from fast food chain restaurants. I've got an In-N-Out burger that has 50 people in line every day as I sit here shuttered. And that's what they were shutting us down on. That's what a judge ruled was, overstepping their power. They've destroyed half the city based on nothing. I love what you did. I love it. I wish it would be more contagious over here.
we hope to get there. Okay, that it was very it was fortunate for me, but I didn't plan on none of that because I asked them not to come around that day. They weren't relaying my messages here in Michigan. I'm just 25, 30 minutes from the invisible border, I call it, where they can go down to Indiana and they can eat and dine. And I've had too many customers tell me the weather's getting cold. They're going down to the Christmas shop. They're stopping for breakfast. And then they're coming back into Michigan after they have dinner and do the Christmas shopping, see? And that started irritating me. My local media wouldn't say that. And I started talking what you just said there about, I seen a bus at my local drive-through national chain, and there were several people on it, and they were walking them down in the aisles and no mask on them. And they just went through the drive-through, and I'm saying, hey, come on, man. Who's that guy in front of me that gave him 75 cents in quarters? Next guy behind me gets them. They're trying to convince us that there is no surface contact. This is a virus. And I refuse to accept the fact that they're trying to tell me a little microorganism is going to float around the sky for 10 minutes. And it's, wait for the next guy to come suck it in.
Well, hey, they're trying to tell me that if you have a special permit, the virus won't get you because the virus recognizes you have a permit.
See, this is what they're doing.
I mean,
and they'd like to lead people to believe that this air is stagnant. I got a small cafe there, okay, and I've got an overly large hood system. It's kind of a hindrance on me because I get the utility bills, and when somebody opens my front door, my swing door into my kitchen goes open by 4 inches, and it all goes up the hood system. And to tell me I've got a stagnant airflow where it's just sitting in there mingling, no way. And so I brought it to their attention earlier in the week about the CDC. I went on the newest updates since October and September, and they talk about surface contact. How long does the COVID-19 stay on surface? 2 hours up to a couple days. So I still say we got a lot of people that are cross-contaminating in the grocery stores and the department stores, and they're not washing their hands before they put that mask on.
You know what? Right now, as we speak, they put stricter rules in. They've shut down playgrounds, hair salons, nail salons, parks, zoos. Listen, TJ Maxx is packed with Christmas shoppers, and so is the indoor mall. The indoor mall that doesn't take a temperature, doesn't wear a glove, doesn't have a mask, is packed with people trying on different clothes, and they're open right now as we speak. That's right. I made a banner, a big red banner, and it said, "If divided we fall, close the mall." Now, it was THEMALL.
but when you read it fast, it's close them all.
Ah!
And that was, so I put that on the front of my cafe, out on the fence, and some people get it, some don't. But exactly what you're saying is what I'm complaining about, the inconsistency of policy. And I don't know.
Let me kind of share with the audience what the restrictions they set in your state, in Michigan. Governor Whitmer, your governor administration on Sunday ordered high schools and colleges to stop in-person classes, close restaurants to indoor dining, and stop organized sports in a bid to curb Michigan's spiking coronavirus cases, right? These restrictions started November 18th, Wednesday, in the last 3 weeks. Then continues, for restaurants and bars, dining service likely will not be allowed to resume with the current set of restrictions expires on December 20th. Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Director Robert Gordon says. On the bottom, Justin Winslow, who's the president and CEO of the Restaurant Association, he said the following. He says, we firmly believe there's a better approach, one followed by 45 other states, that doesn't use blunt force closure of a single industry to resolve a shared crisis. He pointed out that Michigan restaurant dining rooms will be closed for 118 days in 2020. That's nearly 4 months. By December 20, the restaurant industry lost $8 billion in sales and laid off 75% of its workforce for that time. What has changed since that day when your video went viral on Twitter? What's changed, David? What's happened to you?
Nothing. They just extended it. All they did was extend it. Now, if there's things changed for me personally, believe me, I didn't expect that to go viral. That was a big surprise, him being there and me surprising him. And he kind of surprised me when I pulled in to drop off goods. There's a lot of things that changed in my personal life where all of a sudden I'm able to kind of encourage people to stand up in the cafe. It's been tremendous change. We've had so much support, so many people coming. And, I like to say, and we've had, on first part was kind of negative for me because on a personal basis, people like to attack you. They think that you're the one spreading COVID. You're out to kill society.
Yeah.
And
I've had death threats.
It's when my grandchildren have to read that, it bothered me. It hurt my heart a little bit. And I asked my dog, just don't let them read it, because anytime you're going to stand up to something that then you know that you've been pushed to the point and you're true in what you're doing, not everybody's going to like that. Okay. You can't ever be 100% popular, but you got to do it. And we got to teach our kids. We're doing this for our grandkids, by the way. I don't want people to forget this. I'm after my liberty. I want it back. I want my freedoms back in this country. I want us to have the right to choose. And the people that abused me verbally on the social sites, it was pretty easy just to say, I don't pull you into my cafe. I don't go out and twist your arm and yank you in here, okay? And we have continued to defy. They took my license a couple of days ago.
Wow.
That's you know where I was going to go next. That was my next question for you. So here's a question for both of you. How concerned are you knowing both of you are in an industry where you, Angela, on this side, you have a liquor license and you need licenses, you need permits, you need certain rating, you need certain things to happen. And that's led by the local politicians, local, whoever government employees that may be. How concerned are you that if they really wanted to push you around, they could?
You know what? Well, I'm sorry, but my response to that is I'm 59 years old. Okay. I won't say I've struggled, but I've pulled myself up by the bootstraps many times. And I've worked too hard for somebody to push me into that corner with no say-so and drive me into bankruptcy and then think I'm going to go away quietly and forget about me. I would do my best to raise the troops in this country. We are due for this, and I'm not going to fear this. I keep thinking back to when my grandfathers and forefathers fought for my freedoms, and the older I get, the more important that becomes to me for my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. And we can't fear this, and that's what I'm telling you. You can't fear the consequence. If we all come up together, and I know the problem. I know your problem, and I know our problem here. I got friends that own these, like I say, restaurants with liquor license. It's a little more difficult. They'll be the next step, but somehow we got to bust the barriers, and we can't fear that. We just can't.
Angela, how about yourself?
Well, on my end, I have contemplating. I know we have a bar, I've heard anyway, in Burbank called Tin Horn Flats. They're preparing to open on Thursday. Now, I can't. It costs so much for an attorney and stuff to get that license back, and I did not, that video was completely by accident. I didn't ask for any of this. And for me, I am calling them out because I want them gone. I want them held responsible and I want it changed. So the Restaurant Association here, I think one thing everybody has told me is my video has inspired them to start really speaking up and start fighting and staying in the game. And I'm not at a point where I want to risk my liquor license or my health permit yet, because we did get a big win with the courts. So now the next step is, it's like David and Goliath. We hit the giant in the head and he's dizzy, and now it's Newsom. Now we're coming after, the rest of it. So he falls because, small business owners here, it costs so much for my business. My business cost me $500,000 that I worked 10 years in this business to pay off. So I had a retirement, and that's paid off in June of this coming year. And I don't have the funds to legally fight them. So, if I defy them and they take the license, I may never hold a license again because I don't have the money to fight them. So I'm choosing this route, and the restaurant association's plowing in. They've called me. I'm going to be meeting with them and politicians. And, I'm just trying to be as vocal and just talk to everybody as much as I can, and not be political, because it's not about politics. It's about people. And what I'm amazed and astonished about is, this is a very liberal state. And I was afraid that I would have a backlash and they would think, oh, I don't believe in masks, or I want people to die. Or for the most part, I've had so many, calling me going, we've had it. You're right. We want them out. Like, it's now starting to be the people, saying, we want new leaders. We want, so that has been very inspiring to me. Very inspiring. And I try very hard not to be political, because once you do, you get caught in this baseball match and trampled, all of us people in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, we're just trying to live our life and provide jobs and a good home. I have a son in Indiana. I have a grandchild on the way. I'm just trying to live the American dream. I'm not out,
They're making it tough on us.
I applaud both of you. I applaud both of you for risking starting a business and trying to create jobs and staying in business. And obviously you got pushed back to a point where 118 days for you, David, of being shut down. There's only so much you can do until you put a man in a corner to rise up and say, listen, this has got to stop. And there's only so much can be done. For Angela, for you to go out there and spend that $60,000, $80,000, all is next thing you know, a week later, they shut you down, and across the street, 50 feet away from you, they set up the same exact thing, because the entertainment industry is now considered
hypocritical.
So I applaud both of you. Angela, we're going to put your GoFundMe below for anybody who wants to support
Thank you.
David, I believe you have one as well. We're going to put that below as well for folks who can go out there and contribute. And how can people find you if there's others in the restaurant community who want to get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of both of you?
They can reach me, and I'm glad you said that, because, I have been speaking with a lot of people, and I'm trying to get other businesses on so that they can speak. And I have a bunch already, and I will take in anybody else, and I will pass their names along. So they can go to PH Saloon on Facebook and leave me a message, or they can go to Instagram. It's Pineapple Hill Saloon, and leave a direct message. My bartenders are answering them. They give me their info. I would love it, because I am planning something else as well. I'm doing some protests and other things. But one last thing I want to say is, I'm like you. I'm not very good with words, and I say things wrong, and I don't have a college degree. No do I. And I go to people that inspire me, and I have this quote in front of me every time I talk, and it's from Bob Marley, of all people.
Thank you.
And it's, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. And you reminded me of that quote when you were speaking.
Well, thank you. That's that means a lot to me. I'll remember that, and I'll write that down myself.
Yeah.
David, how about if people want to get a hold of you, David? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
I'm Dave Morse. It's DR Daily Grind on Twitter.
We're going to put your link below as well for people to be able to message you. Anybody that's in the restaurant or business world that you want to reach out to them, you can go to Instagram with Angela or her website, or you can go on Twitter and send Dave a message as well. With that being said, Angela, David, thank you so much for being a guest on Valuetainment.
We're also on Facebook too.
Thanks for what you're doing.
Can I say one more thing for 5 seconds? I remember you asked her about at some point if she'd be willing to move out of that state. And I got to tell you, if they drive me out of the state, they close me down. I will move out of this state. I'm not.
Where would you go to if you left the state? What state would you
I'm
go?
looking for
Indiana?
more sunshine. I'm looking for more sunshine. My wife knows I don't like it here. And we have, I've threatened for years. In fact, it's a joke amongst my family. I've been here all my life. And I tell her, you can't bury me here. You can't spread my ashes here. There's nothing I like about Michigan, but I'm here because my family's here and I was raised and born. So here I am. But I'm looking to go west a little bit. I don't think it'll be out there in that expensive territory.
No, don't. Go to Florida.
Somewhere out the sunshine. And it may be southern Indiana so I can stay close to my kids and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And,
It's nice
yeah,
there.
I like Indiana. By the way, the roads are nice. Everything's going pretty good down there. And it's,
Yeah, the economy is great.
the red
and-
state down there is doing well and they're treating their people fairly. So
Yeah, they are.
if they drive me out, I got no problem selling everything and moving down there, I guess. And
There
we
you
have to
go.
do something else. We'll figure it out.
Awesome.
I wanted to get that
Guys,
in.
thank you so much for being a guest.
Thank you
so
for
much
doing
having
this.
us.
These were not actors. These are two business owners, one in California, one in Michigan, both being affected by the regulations and policies that the governors and the mayors are coming out with, and you're seeing what's happening to them having to shut down. What are your thoughts about what they have to say? You saw both of their reactions watching each other's video. I'm curious to know what you had to say about it. And outside of that, if you watch this video and you're seeing how states are being affected by it, no story is going to show us more about what's going on with policies of state than Disney. Disneyland in California shuts down and lays off 28,000 people. Disney World in Florida keeps going, keeps everybody employed, all because of policies. If you've not seen that video, click over here to watch that video. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.